Yes. Hi, I'm Manu Gupta, founder of Life 24, and we are taking care of wellness of women and help them in enabling a better work-life balance. For that, we have planned a series of webinars with various experts from various areas so that they have more information to take more well-informed decisions in their everyday life in taking care of their family and themselves. So as a part, I thank Mr. Nitish, who is an occupational therapist. He will tell us about signs of deviation from normal development in a child from 0 to 3 years. So over to Nitish.
Thank you, Manu. A very good morning to all watching this webinar. I am Nitish Garg, taken an opportunity to share the knowledge on signs of deviation from normal development. A little introduction about myself. I am an occupational therapist holding a master's degree in OT. I have been in the field for past 6 years, catering to the specific need of children with autism, ADHD, hyperactivity, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, other physical dysfunctions, learning disabilities, amongst other. And I thank again to the Life 24 to giving me a platform to be catering to the awareness that I am trying to create to the parents, schools, professionals, and parent groups. Why is there a need of knowledge? Because I believe when we have the knowledge, we have the power to bring change. However, due to lack of information, due to lack of acceptance, unable to distinguish the one signs from your child behavior, parents lose a valuable time in initiating the therapies. And time is the major key role in development and improvement of your child. The motto of this webinar is to inform parents about signs to watch out for which may present deviations from typical development. We will discuss about signs as well as normal development till 3 years of age in this webinar, because till 3 years of age is the most exploratory stage for a child, and you see a lot of mix up things, and as a parent you should know that what can be a little deviation from the normal. A mother and child. From the early onset of the pregnancy, for every mother, what becomes the most precious gift is her own child. And as a guardian angel, the mother provides the best suited environment for her child's development. And when the day comes forth, the day they bring the new life in the world, a new role kickstart of being a teacher and a learner. Because while teaching their child to grow, she also grows and learns to be a parent. The child's smile, innocence, and his little mischiefs are so good to eyes, and watching them feels like a bliss. But for few, the world shatters when at age of 3, 4 years they come to know that their child has a major difficulty, and as parents they missed on picking up early signs of deviation due to lack of their own knowledge. In this slide, I will share about the essentials for human development that we generally see. For a human body to develop completely, we need an integral system between our sensory systems, our motor functions, and our cognitive abilities. To give a little shadow on the sensory systems, we have 5 basic sensory systems, that is touch, see, smell, taste, and hear. Our motor functions are divided into 2 basic groups: fine motor, which in later stages you see like writing skills, and gross motor, which you see like head holding, rolling over, standing, running, jumping. And our cognitive abilities allow us to interpret the information correctly and respond in a basic manner. Apart from these three, through the practice and through seeing other development, a component of social emotional skills is very essential for a child to grow. Through social emotional skills, I mean for a child to interact with the parent in initial through babbling like baba, mama, dada, is a language skill that a child feel attached to the parent and try to communicate with them. And as they grow up and when they are ready for school, the social emotional skills help them to cope up with the social situations, like how to be in the group, how to adjust with the peers, and all that. The development challenges these days the kids are facing are mostly cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, global development delay, autism spectrum disorder, hyperactivity, ADHD, PDD, and MS. These are all the medical terms given to the development challenges the kids are facing. Apart from that, when they grow up, they go to school and they find it difficult to accommodate to the school. You may find out that your child is having academic difficulties, like difficulty with his handwriting, difficulty to concentrate, they may be dyslexic, or they may present visual perceptual difficulties. And there's a manner to see for a parent that how their child is growing and when to note these issues. In earlier stages of life, a parent can majorly note the sensory motor issues because at that time the child is learning to roll over to control his body, control his arms, and to explore the environment. And as the child starts growing up, the social and language, which is need based, kicks in, and the cognitive abilities of the child to cope up with the stress and to work out that how I need to do anything helps him to grow. And there you can see if your child is able to do it or not. And as they grow more, then the social and language abilities, which are a higher ability to interact with others apart from your home environment, the peer group, the group outside, the strange world. You can see if your child is able to accommodate himself there or not. Now talking about the topic, signs of deviation from normal development. Some new research says the earliest sign of deviation that a mother can note is the child not looking at her while taking her feed. At the age of 2 months, is your child able to hold his neck while you are pulling him up? Or does he feels a little particularly stiff or floppy or has poor swallowing or sucking while feeding? These are some signs which are more of motor status that you can note in at the early stage. At 4 months of age, now as a mother, you could see that your child is trying to reach a grasp for the toys. Is he supporting his head well? Does he tries to bring the object to his mouth? Does he follows and react to the bright lights, movements, and objects? Does he tries to turn towards the sound and shows interest in watching people's faces? And the most important, does he smiles back when you smile? And when the child starts doing a little rollover, that is, we say by the age of 6 months, being a mother or parent that can observe, does he roll over nicely? Is he able to sit unsupported? Does he tries to reach for with both hands to play with his feet? Does he enjoys the bath time? And now is he trying to vocalize in response to the playful interaction you're doing? And enjoys the playful interaction with others, especially with mother, games like peekaboo. And now when your child has turned 9 months, when he should be crawling or at least creeping or trying to stand with support, what points you should look for? Does he look where you point? Does he transfer the toys from one hand to other? Does he respond to his name? Does he tries to bear some weight on his leg? Can he sit independently? Does he babble? Babble means sounds like mama, da, da, ba, ba more frequently? And does he transfer twice from one hand to other, which I have talked about earlier also in the slide? Now your child is almost a year old. In normal development, he should be able to cruise. Cruising means walk with the support. Okay, so now the signs which we should look forward is, does he enjoy moving to a desirable toy? A meaningful use of mama or dada means the babbling is now more meaningful, looking at you, to his mother, mama, and to his father, brother. Response to simple commands like come here. Now you could see that there's fine motor developments coming in, because they will try to use the thumb and the pointer finger to pick tiny objects. In the motor part, he will pull self to stand and cruise around furniture. Then you should also see that now he is enjoying a variety of touch, noise, and smell. Okay. And moreover, now he will notice where he has got hurt. At age of 18 to 24 months, does he walk independently? Frequently moves in and out of various positions, like if he wants to reach out for a toy and it's somewhere else. So if needed, is he crawling, climbing, cruising, or walking? He is able to manipulate between these movements to reach to that toy. And now he's able to take his full weight nicely and can squat to pick up toys. Cognitively, now he can stack two or more blocks together. The vocabulary consists nearly 5 words. He will try to imitate the less familiar sounds and words. He will enjoy exploring and playing at the playground now, because at this age now he will try to be out of a little comfort zone, that is your house, that is his mother, and to be with the social group a little. And in self-help skills, now is he able to hold and drink up from the cup independently or not? This age, the age of 2 and 3, where the child is almost ready to go for a prep school, there are a lot of cognitive abilities, a lot of higher social function are needed to interact with other kids. So is he able to participate in smaller groups with other children? Is he able to maintain eye contact with other kids? Loves to participate in messy play. Now there's a better movement coordination between play and explore. Uses both hands to play, like now swinging a bat. Coordinates hand and finger movements to participate in tabletop games and activities, which is again a fine motor skill, but a very basic skill needed to be a part of a group, basically a school group, where you have to perform on the tabletop. And most importantly, is your child able to adapt to the changes in routine? And does he love to play with the peers and near the peers? Now, this was a crux of development of 0 to 3 years and the signs that you can watch. But the most important thing as a parent, you should always know that if you see any kind of regression in the development of your child, then be alarmed that it can be any of the neurodevelopment disorder that we have discussed earlier. And as parent, what to do is the basic question. First of all, don't panic. Consult an developmental pediatrician or your pediatrician. Needed, consult and child psychologist and have an evaluation done. Then according to the evaluation, consult for your therapist as recommended. I will recommend one more thing, that don't get stuck at the label that is my child an ASD child, is my child an ADHD child, is my child is doing this or that. Instead, work on making them able, because a lot of parents just waste the time in finding the correct label, again and again wasting the time that is so precious, because the earlier you start with the treatment, the better the results are always. And to make them able, therapies helps a lot. The therapies can be occupational therapy, special education, play therapy, language therapy, and speech therapy. And as per recommendation, there could be other therapies which will help your kid. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitish, for a very informative presentation. I hope our moms would be able to benefit from that to the maximum extent. Let me see if we have any questions. Uh, yes, we have. So one question is, maybe you can take the questions one
Yeah,
on
for
one
sure.
and answer them.
So the first question is, my child doesn't speak and the pediatrician says, wait till he turns 3. Is this okay? For many kids, I will say it's okay if just the speech part is delayed. The question is, my child doesn't speak and the pediatrician says, wait till he turns 3. Is this okay? For most of the kids, if they have only speech delay, then it's okay because till 3 you have to wait developmentally to have the words and all. But if at the age of 3 that your child is only at babbling stage or is just trying to interact with you in a non-verbal gestures, then do consult someone to help you. The second question is, if the child does not meet, the second question is, if the child does not meet the development milestones or meet it a little later, does one always have to be alarmed about it? What is the point to be worried? That's a very good question because every development milestone has a age limit. Like for example, the earliest motor milestone that a child achieves is holding his neck, like we say neck holding. How perfectly a child can hold his neck. We say that it should be achieved by 3 months. If there's a little delay, say maybe 2 to 3 more weeks, then okay, you should not. But the delay is coming out to be 2 months, then for surely you should be worried. There's a third question is, my son gets very aggressive. He wants to fight or hit someone all the time. He is 2.5 years old. Is this normal? What can one do? Now, as the child grows, there are a lot of play component that comes in and a behavioral component also. For a 2.5 year child, hitting someone specific can be regarded something else only. But if your child is trying to hit everyone while walking or anybody he sees, and if again and again you are telling him that it's not a good social context, that you should not hit anybody, if for 4 or 5 times you're telling him and he understands that part, it's okay. But if he's not stopping at all, then you should see that are there any more signs that you should be alarmed with or not. Now, there's one more question. For what do we need to watch for the signs? Like if it doesn't respond to simple commands, then when is it a warning signal? Now, you see a lot of kids, because being a mother, you should have seen your child growing. Like being a father, I have a 6 month old kid. Now, he responds good to the sounds, and then what I'm hoping that by the time he turns 9 months old, or maybe a year old, then he should be able to understand my simple commands like come here, look here, and all that. But if the child is repetitively not responding to a simple command, then you should always check that your child is responding to his name or not with everyone. not just with mother, not just with the people he is very familiar to, then you should definitely go for checking his hearing ability. Otherwise, if there are other signs of present that he doesn't like to play with messy thing, or he's too much into uh, doing a lot of things that, for example, if the child is not making an eye contact also, then you should definitely be a little alarmed that, okay, he may have something or not. Now there's a question which asked me about the differences between a special need educator and an occupational therapist. These both fields are very different, but they work together to create a better result with a child, because a special need educator is a person who teaches the kid about what is A, what is B, and how to learn things. The concept of red, the concepts of colors, the concept of time, that is the education part, the remedial teaching and all. But as an occupational therapist, that what we do is provide the skill set to understand if there are two slant lines and one midline crossing it, then it is a A. The skill to see and the skill to make is what we can teach, but what is A and how it is used more is the part of us special educator in a short example. Otherwise, you can go for better examples also. Now the question is, what questions to ask from the therapist when going for a therapy? Now, that is purely dependent upon about your child, that what symptoms he is showing and how he is currently. Because from a therapist, generally you can ask that what protocols that you will be taking care of, and what generally parents come and ask us also, that how much time it will take, and what will the procedure, what will you do. For the time aspect, nobody is a better judge to say that, okay, this will be done in 3 months, this will be done in 6 months, because every child is different, and a program for one child can differ from the other child, and their progress can also differ from each other. Will a child who has identified with special needs always be a special need child? Now, labeling them as purely special needs is like something, because every child is special to their parents, but these are the different needs you need to tackle a little differently. For few kids, yes, a lot of things doesn't change much, but for a lot of kids who are, say, on a mild zone and who are like near the borderline thing, then if the therapies are done on right time, then you will see that child is able to integrate into the school system nicely, and he's able to interact with other kids also and everything. Yes, for sure, what the core is, a little difficulty will remain, but to say that the child will remain always a special need child is not a correct statement. Now, there's one more question. How do occupational therapists work with pediatricians? Um, these days, a lot of pediatricians are having their own setups where they provide occupational therapy and other therapies as per the requirement of the kid. The occupational therapist basically is given referrals from the pediatricians about, okay, these are the issues with the kid I'm looking. Just see that if it falls in your domain or not. Because ethically, if you work, then they will be not 100% of the areas that will be falling in your zone. Because one therapist cannot do all the therapies. So you need to work in a team zone, team format to create more and more of improvement in the kid.
Thanks, Nitish.
Thank you, Manu.
We are closing the session now. You can ask further questions on our website, ourlife24.com, and we can contact Nitish to answer them. Thank you.